Alright, in this week's video we worked on the panel truck, got it buttoned up, it's ready to go back to the customer. We worked on the winter beater pickup truck, moved some things around in the shop, buttoned up Ron's truck. It's running and gunning. Didn't film very much of that. He's not into that stuff. He's old and cranky. But we're finally to the point where we're getting government cheese done. So that's a good thing. Getting ready for next summer. No snow yet in Northeast Ohio though. At least in Lodi area. It's doing pretty good. Remember, like and subscribe. Do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Side Money Garage. Thank you. Alright, we're working here tonight on the so-called beer truck. It's 89 F-150 of mine. We got to fix the windshield wipers. We bought these ones at O'Reilly's. They suck. Worst things ever. And we got this door tore apart, fixing the power window motor. So we're going to open that up, get some light out here so we can see what we're doing. Probably unhook the battery so we don't run the battery dead. Check the fluids, get this thing ready for winter. Northeast Ohio, it gets dark early. But we got light, and we'll get some light on the subject, and it'll be fine. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know what day it is. The hood's a trick. But we got the throttle position sensor on. That was what was keeping it from running good. So that's all dolled up. Unhook the battery there. We'll check the oil, check the coolant, check the transmission fluid, and we're ready for winter in this thing. Put some light on the subject. It'll be pretty nice for a winter beater. Alright, we're going to have to get that window motor opened up and see what we need here. Alright, so here's the new window motor regulator for the driver's side. Looks like it takes like 6 bolts. I don't know if I have that many or not. We're going to have to put some light on the subject and see what we got in there. This could be universal for other vehicles. But I'm going to get the light out and get everything situated so we can get this in the truck real quick. Alright, let's see what we can see with this thing real quick here. It shouldn't be too hard of a job, I don't think. Should be 4 bolts. And we have 3 bolts. So that ain't too bad. I don't know why we don't have 4, but one there, one right there, and one right there. It'll end up with 4 probably. I don't know. Let's get this thing out and see what we can come up with. We'll get these 4 bolts out. See where this thing is attached to the window way up here. Hopefully it just slides out of there and we're back in business. Alrighty, somebody's been in here because I think from the factory these were riveted. And those look like American bolts, not even metric. So we're going to see what we can find in this thing. Get those bolts out. 7/16 maybe. So we had to take that little gizmo out of there. We got the window motor out. Over here is the comparison. The new plus the old. The actual motor is a lot smaller on the new one versus the old one, but we're gonna fish out the screws and bolts and put this thing in there. Hopefully it goes as smooth as it came out. This goofy thing had screws on the back side, and unfortunately they are down there. And this truck isn't that rusty. It still has a good door bottom. So I'm going to get my trusty magnet and fish them out. Alright, power window motor is in. We got 4 bolts. It's in, it works. Everything seems okay. Now we got to put the bottom of the door on, top of the door panel, and we're good. And that armrest holder. So I'm going to start bolting this thing back together. Now all we got to do is check fluids. We're going to put the armrest mount back on now. Well, windows in. Now we got to wash them. This one here is a little backwards. It works. Lights work. High beams work. Squirter works. Wipers work. The winter beater's ready. It's running good. We gotta go get some gas in her. So we're gonna shut it off. Start cleaning up. Start getting out of here. But the winter beater's ready to go. She's winterized. Antifreeze. Everything's in it that it needs. Alright, beater truck is running good. We're hopefully going to get this thing sanded today so we can get it out of here. We got this side to sand, the roof, and the back. And then we can move on with this thing and get on to one of these other projects, something that's cool. Hopefully this will go quick. We're using an electric TA because I hate the air compressor, so it doesn't sand real great, but this ain't a real great project here. He doesn't want it real nice. Electric DA in 320. We got it rough sanded. Now we got to take a single piece of sandpaper and get all the little edges around the fenders, around that stripy thing. We got to do some work on this cowl. And then we're ready to primer it and work on painting it. This part up here looks pretty good. Not too lumpy. Give her a little scruffage. This is real rough. We're gonna sand the snot out of that. But the rest of it's looking okay. It's not perfect by no means. It's okay. It's kind of terrible actually. But I don't know how to give this guy what he wants. So we're going to try this. Alright, the panel truck is black again. So now it's time to clean it up. Do a few things to it. Clean it up. The paint job is not perfect. This customer did not want perfect. Here we got the Falcon back from Jeremy Bonnet. Did the roll bar for me. It's fabulous. I love it. He did the whole thing. Into the trunk. Everything. It's perfect. It's got an old school vibe to it like we wanted. And my fat ass can still get in barely over top of the bar. It's a little tight, but if I cut back on the donuts for a couple years, it'll be alright. So there's that. Now, we have to get it up there. The 55 is gone. My buddy Kyle's cleaning up his mess.
Your mess?
It's your mess. You dug that out. And then we're going to get back to cleaning this panel truck up. We got a lot of cleaning to do inside. Glue the door seals on. Make it presentable for the gentleman that owns the truck. Clean it up so he can come get this thing out of here. That's our goal now. Get all that stuff put back on. Get the floor vacuumed and cleaned. Get everything wiped off, cleaned up. Get it out of here. Well, back to work. Alright, it's Tuesday. We're working on a panel truck. We sanded it all down a little bit with 000, smoothed it out a little, did one coat of PB Blaster. So now we got to paint the roof. This is the same thing I did to my wife's car. It looks better the more you do it. It's hard to explain. Now I want to put the doors back together. You got to put window cranks in and all that jazz, mirrors, everything like that. So I got a mirror to put on, a little vent thingy to put on. We're gonna sand and paint the roof today, maybe touch that up. It's looking good though. I like it. It's coming a long ways. Excuse me. And we're working on getting this thing out of here. So we're gonna get to work on this thing. Doesn't stick for shit, but maybe a little heat will help it. There you go. That's what it'll look like with one side done. It's not too bad. It's not perfect. The whole truck isn't perfect, but the red pinstripe don't look too bad. It's got a few wiggle wobbles in it, I think. Right there's something. Right in here looks like there's a wiggle wobble. But when you look down the side, it looks okay. So now I gotta go all the way around the truck. It's a Friday, burning up my vacation time, getting this piece of shit out of here. I'm sick of looking at it. So I'm gonna do the back, the other side, and the front. And then we'll clean up the inside, wipe down the outside. We gotta do the engine bay. And we gotta clean the roof. But then we're done. This thing isn't looking too bad. Not looking too good either, but hopefully it'll work for what this customer wants. So we're gonna get out of here and get on to the other side. All right, we got all of our red pinstripe on. Not a fan of sticky pinstripe, like I said, but the color contrast spruced her up a little bit, so I like it. We still have to trim it in a couple spots right there, but the rest of it's looking pretty good. Nice red pinstripe. Now we're gonna work on that rear door handle. So I have to trim this first, and then I gotta get this door handle in. I started messing with it. It needs a spring. It needs all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna tuck that in, and then we're gonna mess with this handle and this lock today. It's coming. It's starting to look a lot like a truck. An ugly truck. I'm not a fan of Chevys or panel trucks, but it's coming. GoPro, stop recording. This is my handle. I have to get a spring in there so that it can wind up and end up back where it goes. I bought a spring. I'm going to try to figure out how to get it in there. I think I got to take this all off. I'm not sure what you call that, but that spring is broke right there. So I'm going to try to put a new spring in there once I can get this off. I got a little grinding and whatnot to do. Okay, we got this wire wheeled. We got it all apart. Right in there somewhere is a little pin that we have to knock out and put it back together. That's what we're going to do next. Right in there is a little pin we got to knock out right in that area. We're going to knock that little pin out, put a new spring in it, and get this thing put back together. The customer eventually may get this chrome plated. I don't know what they're doing with it. Don't really care. This part is not my problem. We're going to wire wheel it a little bit better though. Try to clean it up some. But first we want to get that pin out. Alright, we got an 1/8 inch hole in there. So now we can put this all back together with a new spring. Pin it. And hopefully it'll stay. That's what we're going to do next. We're going to start putting this all back together, all these pieces. We're going to clean this up a little bit more. Right in that area. Maybe. A little more wire wheeling, I guess. Alright. So, we're going to get on that, and then we're going to... Alright, so there it is back together. We made a little gasket for it. Homemade spring. We put a cotter pin in it instead of a pin. It fits. I think it'll work. We're going to go see if we can get this bad boy put in. Alright, we got our rear door handle in, our lock mechanism in. So, we're going to go get some lunch. Cut up this trim. Clean these back doors up. Glue that trim down. We got to clean all this. Touch up inside of there a little bit. Get this all cleaned out, wiped out, glue that in, and work our way forward. Get that wiped off. We got to put a license plate light somewhere in here. We might just get the kind that go into the bolt. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. Then I don't have to mess with it. See what the O'Reilly's has to offer. Touch that all up. Trim that. Paint those bolts black. The back is pretty much done. Bring up the tail lights. God, it's looking good finally after all these years. It'll be nice to be rid of this thing. Alright, there's all the junk we threw out of the inside of this thing. The inside is cleaned up. I gotta tuck in the light wires up there. 6 of those little zip tie magnets. This is all glued on. And the inside up to the seats and back is done. If this gentleman doesn't come pick it up next week, by Sunday of next week, Sunday after Thanksgiving, it'll get tarped up and put outside. I have no room for it. I have other projects that I need to get on. And it is what it is, I guess. There's a lot of dust. Looks like primer up there, like I didn't get no paint up there, but there's paint up there. It just needs wiped off. But this is it. This is what we got. Alright, here's the panel truck. We got the tape on the windows. Keep the dust off. We don't want to have to redo anything inside. We got the back doors all done, sealed up. Seals in. Everything's looking beautiful. We got to work on the inside door seals Interior's all cleaned up except for the steering column. We gotta wipe off the steering column, and she's done inside. Gluing some door seals on. And then this baby's a wrap. We gotta clean the engine bay. Door seals are just shitsville. You can wipe the steering column. Under the hood, we got a shit ton of cleaning up to do, but it's looking pretty good. We gotta put a seal up there of some kind. Other than that, it's looking good under the hood. Just a little cleaning. Alright, it's Sunday. We got the truck moved. This is our next project. We got to get this thing done. Winter's coming. The panel truck is officially done. If he don't come get it next week, it's going outside. But the truck is the next project. So we're going to get the truck going. Here it is, 1964 F100. Big block truck. It's time to get this thing on the road and quit messing around.